Hey guys, Donut here and welcome to my channel. Today I was thinking about talking about a little bit of a serious matter of the game, because I've been agreeing and disagreeing with my friends a lot about these problems and bugs that the game still have 5 months in since the release. So in my opinion, these things should be dealt with a long time ago, and they still have not dealt with the freaking problems and the things that we really wanted the game to have. So I actually got the video in 4 different parts. It's gonna be a whole video, but it's just going to have 4 different segments. So the first part is going to be grenades. The second part is gonna be the weapons. The third part is gonna be the maps, and the fourth part is gonna be the game on in general, all of the game. So let's get started. So let's start from the grenades. You have way too many goddamn choices at the moment. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to have so many things that explode in a game that is so big already. I understand C4s, I understand tanks, I understand the choppers, I understand the boats. I don't understand the claymores, I don't understand the freaking different grenade types that you have at the moment, like the V40 minis or the impact grenades. You have the flashbangs. You just don't have time to check every house if there's a claymore lurking on the corner, or when you're playing a 64 whatever game that you're playing, because there's so many people spamming flashbangs, impact grenades, V40s. What happened to the good old days? When you place the mine on the floor, you take your sniper rifle, wait for somebody to walk up to it, and you shoot the mine and it blows everybody the hell up. That's skill, that's fun, and that's freaking cool. It's not cool to get a kill on your screen and you don't even know what the fuck happened. You just throw a few grenades on a certain direction, or you leave a claymore lurking on there somewhere and you get a kill. Is that really fun? Is that cool? No, it's not. It really doesn't make a lot of sense for a game like this. For a game so big, to have so many little explosions and too many crowded things that just doesn't play for the game that well. And the next thing in line is the weapons. This is one of the things that is on the top of the list for me on what I really hate about the game. And it's the fact that all of the guns are so easy to handle and to learn. If you take any assault rifle from the list and you match it up with another one, it's almost the same exact thing. There's only 3 different things on the assault rifles. There is the gun that gives a higher damage value, there's a gun that has a faster rate of fire, and there's a gun that you will learn to control extremely well. This is the only difference on the assault rifles or almost in any other weapon in the game, and that's a big problem. You can pretty much take any assault rifle to your hand, hold it for 10 seconds, and you already know how to shoot with it really well, which shouldn't be possible. Because when we're talking about the gunplay of the game, usually it should come to who has the best skill. And lately with this game, it really feels like there's no skill gaps at all. You can pretty much take any weapon there is and learn how to use it in about 5 minutes, and then you're set for life. You don't need to practice anymore with the weapon at all. You just get the little red dot on the top of a player and it's an instant kill every single time. So in my opinion, the fact that you just choose the gun that has the best fire rate and a lot of bullets shouldn't be the best gun there is. The guns should vary from damage output to fire rate and recoil control. It's just so funny that there's certain types of weapons in the game that you end up using all the time, and that shouldn't be the point. That shouldn't be the gameplay's idea. There's a lot of guns on the game for a reason, and it's for people to use different guns and to have different gameplay experiences, not the same one every time, not the one that you just spray and pray and you hope for the best kills. I like the Scar for one reason, and the reason is because it differences a lot from a lot of the other guns. The damage output is different, the fire rate is really different, and the recoil control is a lot different. But all in all, even the Scar is really easy to control. You just spam it by tapping it, and that's pretty much the only thing that you need to do. And more to the weapons section, the game's gunplay is almost non-existent. It just doesn't work at all at the moment. The problem is that when you have bugs like one-shot bugs, you have crammed up bullets that when you shoot, you just pack a lot of bullets in one space and you just send it through player's way, and it's pretty much and then you're dead. There's pretty much nothing that you can do about it. There's no reaction times, there's no nothing. It's like a sniper bullet coming to your head. You pretty much can't do anything about it when there's a lot of bullets crammed up in one package and sent to your space, and I'm talking about the netcoding at the moment. So When you have one-shot bugs, netcode issues, and a lot of other issues in a game like this, the gunplay suffers so much. And when the gun's recoil control, the recoil patterns, the rate of fire, the damage outputs are just so ridiculous that you can kill a person in 4 or 3 rounds without the player even like having time to react to it. It's just so ridiculous. It just means that the gunplay is suffering so much that it doesn't even exist. When you go back to Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield 1942, Vietnam, or if you go to Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike Source, 1.6, Go, whatever, in all of these games, if somebody is shooting you, the first thing you can do is reply by shooting back. You actually have time to turn, or of course if it's a headshot or something like that, it's over for you because the other player shot you in the head, and it's understandable. But the thing is that if it comes to a point that somebody's shooting you far away, and you just get killed instantly by a bullet, or there's instantly 4 bullets coming to your way, you just can't react to it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to have a competitive scene, and a lot of people are talking about it at the moment. It just doesn't work. It won't work unless we fix these problems. And the next in the line is the maps. The maps in the game is really well done. I'm talking about the majority of the maps, of course. But then there's the other side of the maps that are really not actually that well done. For 64 players, or for Rush, or some of the maps, parts of the maps just gets too crowded, and some of the part of the maps just, there's nobody there. Nobody ever goes there, there's no reason to be there. So what I'm talking about, like, let's take a flood zone for example. The crowded part on the map flood zone usually is the buildings and the middle section of the map. There's usually no idea or actually any point of going to the other side of the map or any of the other parts of the map, because if you hold the middle, you have the 2 most needed flags on the whole game, and everybody will try to take them out from your hands, and it's pretty easy to kill players on if you actually have good positions on the flood zone. So there's pretty much no point of going downstairs, there's no point of going to the lower section of the map, there's no point of going to other sections of a map. And it's a little bit funny because the map in itself is really big and it's really well done, but the whole balance of the map is a little bit unbalanced. And on Rush it works actually really well, but in other game modes like Conquest or something else, on Conquest, normal Conquest it works really well, but on Conquest Large it just doesn't work at all. And there's a lot of maps that has the same exact problem, and I really don't know where the problem comes from, and that's something that editors from DICE should actually concentrate on, of balancing the maps on the future. And then there comes the problems with all the vehicles, the selection of all of the vehicles that you have in the game. At the moment it just feels like there's so many vehicles that infantry really can't handle at the moment. There's tanks, there's choppers, there's transport choppers, attack choppers, there's the scout helicopter, you have the boats, you have the freaking BTRs, you have the LAVs, you have even the NTR tank. It just feels like there's way too many things against infantry at the moment. If you go back to Battlefield Bad Company, on a few of the maps you just had a transport vehicle that wasn't even that OP, and then you had a transport chopper, or maybe even a little bit better chopper, but that was it. There wasn't pretty much anything else on the game, and it didn't have to have anything else, because this is a shooter. It doesn't have to be a Battle of the Tanks 2014, it should be a Battle of the Humans 2014. Like guns and things. This is what DICE should really concentrate on. Not on Levolution, not on bringing a lot of freaking tanks and choppers and explosions to the game, is to improve and perfect the gunplay, because this is why we bought the game. And of course there are vehicles that I would like to see more on the fields, and I'm talking about the Siege of Shanghai, where you have the transport ship. The transport ship is really freaking cool. That was like one of the best vehicles in a game, in my opinion. Beside the jet skis and of course the MTBs, those are fucking cool. But still, let's go. The transport ships, they have armor. They have doors that you can blow off with the 50 caliber C4. They break down in a way that you can actually heal them, but it won't replace the doors. It is so cool that they brought something like that in the game. And it's such a shame that they almost didn't use it in any other maps. There's almost no other maps that you can see a transport jeep like that. And in my opinion, there should be 3 or 4 in the game for both teams, or in the map, sorry, for both teams. And it's just a little bit funny that they concentrated on attack choppers, scout helicopters, boats, and freaking tanks. On one map, there's 3 different fucking boats on a map. This doesn't make a lot of sense. No. So in my opinion, they should really focus more on these low-grade vehicles that doesn't really have that much armor and everything. But in a way, if you know how to use them, they are pretty strong too. Let's move on the list to the general side of the discussion. And at first I have the battle packs. In my opinion, the battle packs really suck. The problem is that I don't remember ever opening a battle pack and getting something that I really wanted for a certain gun. Usually when I want to unlock something, I usually unlock them on really early on the game, or it takes so much time, so many kills or certain objectives that I have to do to get the sights or whatever I want for a gun. But I don't recall that I never got something good from a battle pack. And in my opinion, the battle packs really fail because you pretty much don't get tokens and you usually get XP boosts, which is really freaking frustrating for a level 80 player who doesn't need really XP boost for anything at the moment. So in my opinion, the battle pack should give you some tokens and some of the same stuff that you're gaining at the moment, and the tokens could work in a way that you go from your gun inventory and you open the attachments or whatever you want to open, and you can pretty much decide everything by yourself. You don't have to play countless hours or get hundreds of kills with a gun to get the sights or whatever you want, because the game is certainly not designed for people who want to play these games for hours a day. That's the problem. People just can't, of course there are people who play the game for hours a day, like 8 hours a day or more maybe. You must be crazy if you're doing that, but hey, it's your life, do what you want. But the problem is that with all of the things at the moment that you have here, it's almost really impossible to play the game for long hours and stick with the same gun, because you're unlocking new guns all the time. You unlock a new gun faster than you unlock this freaking lower barrel attachment or something. So in my opinion, the battle packs should really contain some tokens or something really useful on the first battle pack that you open, that you can actually get really good stuff. And let's move on. The second thing is that the characters usually are retarded. It is so annoying. I was just playing the other day, and there was a little pipeline or something which was like 20 centimeters from the ground, and this character just couldn't get past it. There are moments that a tree falls down and a character can't pass it or do the climbing animation or just jump the fuck over the tree. There are moments when you're walking on rocks and it just starts bouncing you all around and you can't just do the animations that you want to do. There are moments that the character just doesn't do what you really want it to do. Sometimes it slides on the ground, sometimes when you stop the movement it moves a few seconds after it. And that's really important, because mobility in the game is extremely important. When somebody's shooting you and you're giving your character an order and it's not doing it the proper way, that's a really big blow to the game. You have to think about when we're playing a game that has explosives, tanks, choppers, everything, many guns, people just spamming all around. A slight mistake on your part can ruin everything. A little mistake on just the game can ruin everything. A little netcodec lag can ruin everything. So it's really important for the character to work properly. When you're trying to get over a tree, when you're trying to get over a rock, it really doesn't help that it does the animation, it launches you up the air. So that's something that they should spend a little bit more time on too, because the dynamic of the character and the environment just doesn't work at the moment. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I can understand for a certain point that if there's a bug or something, I can understand that. But lately it's like 20 or 30% of the time it doesn't do what you want it to do. And the last but not least is the Levolution. I think we can all agree that the Levolutions look really good at the moment. It's really cool that they actually implemented something that big to a game. And that's the first time I've seen ever something like that working on real time when you're playing and you can actually do the dynamic on yourself. But the problem with the But the problem with the Levolution is that it clearly took way too much focus from the core of the game, and they wasted so much time. It feels like they wasted so much time just on the Levolution itself. And when you start to think about it, which is more important, the Levolution or the gameplay, I'll go with gameplay any day of the month. It just doesn't matter what it is. The gameplay of a game is the most important experience that you can have. It's not the Levolution, it's not the graphics, it's not the, oh, we have a tank here, it's not we have 15 different grenades. It's how the game works when you're playing it. For 10 minutes when you start the game, of course the Levolution looks really cool. Hour past that you might be thinking that, god damn, the graphics looks amazing. Wow, there's a grenade. Wow, there's different types of grenades. Wow, there's different types of vehicles and you can attach really cool skins to it. But the problem is that when you focus too much on the donuts of the game, you really have to start to think about that, how the gameplay works anymore. And if way too much time is focused on the cherries of the game, if you want to call it, and almost none of the time is used to fix the bugs and the important gameplay parts and the dynamics of the game, then the game is pretty much just graphics and Levolution. At the moment it really feels like it's almost graphics and Levolution. The gunplay is nearly existing, the gameplay sometimes just feels so frustrating that I want to just throw my freaking chair to a car. And yes, I'm talking about the Mercedes out there, so if somebody owns it, please take it out of the parking lot because it doesn't belong there. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it brings something to your mind. If there's something that you didn't know about the game yet, or if there's something that you did know and you can correct me on that, please leave a comment. I would want to know your opinions. What do you think about the game at this moment? It's 5 months in and it feels like almost none of the updates has done anything. So I'll see you guys in the future. I'll be doing more videos, more Counter-Strike Go videos are gonna come in if you guys are interested. I'll see you in the future. Remember to subscribe, like the video, enjoy. My name is Donut. Goodbye.